Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. Between now and August 10th, if you use this promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing where 4 winners will each win one of the Commander 2018 pre-constructed decks. See the description below for more details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. It is Protour 25th anniversary weekend, and already this event has had a big impact on certain cards in the secondary market. We're going to be looking at those today. Also, Commander 2018, a lot of upgrade cards, really hot. The product doesn't come out till Friday. I would expect that these upgrade cards will continue to be hot throughout the summer and into early fall, especially as more casual players will begin picking up on the fact that they want to upgrade these decks as the weeks go on. But we're going to look at all of that in just a moment. Quickly before we get started, just a fast reminder, you heard it at the beginning of the video, but we're still doing a promotion with Flipside Gaming. If you check out the description below, you'll find out how you might be able to win one of those Commander 2018 decks. And also, you'll find our Patreon page down there, as well as links to products on Amazon. These are all ways to help support what we do here at the channel. As always, thank you not only to the folks that look at those links, but to all the viewers. You all make the channel what it is. So thank you, and let's get into it. All right, let's start off with the top 5 standard legal cards that have lost value this week. Number 5, the Scarab God, down 63 cents to $17.99. This card has had a successful standard season since Magic 2019 has come out. It's even seeing play this weekend at the Pro Tour. And if it puts up a good result, it could see one more surge maybe before it continues its decline. However, this is rotating out this fall. And even though it's looked great thanks to Bolas and some of these Grixis mid-range decks and control decks and such, it just can't maintain this price point as we move out of the Pro Tour season and closer to rotation. Once we get out of this week, players are really going to make a determination about what deck they want to play for the rest of this standard. If that deck does not include the Scarab God, guess what? A lot of players are going to sell these off. You're going to see a big decline in the coming weeks. So if you've been waiting to pick up this card, maybe for Commander or something like that, I'd wait a little bit longer, give it a few weeks, and you'll be able to get this a lot cheaper. Number 4 is Sun Sentinel, down 70 cents to $3.15. This is the Magic 2019 version, which you can only find in the White Welcome deck. Hence why this card got hot for a while. We've been talking about this over the last few weeks, but the cards that are exclusive to those Welcome decks started to heat up kind of like one at a time. They're just sort of changed as the days went on. But people saw that first Llanowar Elves was a little bit harder to find on the online market. Some sellers started listing them for about $30, $40. That created the hype and the excitement, and all of a sudden, people started looking at other cards that were exclusive to those decks. Now, some people liked Llanowar Elves because it was the most played out of all these cards, and also because it was missing the flavor text divider line. So a lot of people just looked at that and thought, well, that's weird and unusual. I want that in my collection. So that one got hot first. But since then, others have followed. This was one of them, but already starting to come down. If you want to add these to your collection because you think they're cool, because they're a little bit harder to find than maybe the other version of Sun Sentinel, for example, I wouldn't spend $3, $4 for this. Wait a few more weeks. Let the hype subside. You'll get these for $1 or less all day long, no doubt. Because even though, yeah, they might be harder to get than a regular Magic 2019 common or something, they still are not rare. They send a lot of these decks to LGSs. Most of them are not breaking them up to sell them online, which is why it appears there's a shortage. Number 3, Gideon of the Trials, down $1.27 to $10. Another card that's going to be rotating out. Gideon's not doing a whole lot right now. Sometimes you'll see a copy or two show up in a control build and standard. Modern Control still running a copy or two here and there too, but really not enough to warrant even a $10 price point, as this will continue to go down. Number 2, Tezzeret Artifice Master, down $1.30 to $17. Well, the Mono Blue Artifact and the Izzet Artifact deck haven't been performing as well as some people were hoping that they would. Because of that, this card's gotten kind of soft. I mean, unless it puts up a big result in the next few weeks, I do think this is going to continue to drop, and maybe even more dramatically. Now, in theory, you would think that post-rotation, this card should get better because the field's leaner. However, you're also losing the Kaladesh block, which is providing a lot of support for this card. Number 1, Karn, Scion of Urza, down $1.92 to $33.77. So the reason Karn is still going down is because Dominaria was a very popular set. A lot of packs were cracked. A lot of packs are still being cracked of this set. And initially, this card had so much hype around it that the players that were truly invested into formats like Standard, they were scrambling to get their copies early on. Now they have their copies. So when you look at a card like this in a Standard set that didn't come out all that long ago, and you see a price point of $33.77, that's actually quite impressive, honestly. It will go down over time, especially as we move into the fall, I'm sure, maybe settling in around $25, $30 for a while. However, it's looking really good this weekend in that Turbo Fog deck. There's 4 copies of Karn there, and that deck has got a lot of people's attention. We're going to talk more about that in a few minutes because one card from that deck is really getting hot and will be on our next list. But as for the 4 Karns, yeah, if that deck does well, you could see a little bit of a surge next week, maybe the week after even in Karn before it starts to stabilize again. All right, let's move on to the top 5 standard legal cards that have gained value this week. Coming in at number 5, Grasping Scoundrel. This is another one of those Magic 2019 Welcome Deck cards. This, of course, in the black deck, up 87 cents to $4.99. So this is the one that got hot recently. Number 4, Jaya Ballard, up $1.25 to $4.51. She was getting so low, you almost thought she almost had to go up being a Planeswalker and all. And she probably does get better post-rotation, so do keep that in mind. There are some decks trying her out now, though, and maybe, who knows, if one does well in the Pro Tour this weekend, she could have a good week next week. This is one to watch. Number 3, Sarkhan Fireblood, up $1.72 to $19.95. This card has looked good, continues to look good in the Grixis Dragon decks, in the Bolas Red Dragon decks. It's seeing play this weekend at the Pro Tour. I believe this will continue to go up over the next few weeks. Number 2, Mistcloaked Herald. Yep, you guessed it, another welcome deck card. This one from the blue one, up $3.31 to $3.75. And yeah, like I said earlier, don't overpay for these things. Just wait, they'll come down. Number 1, yep, Nexus of Fate, up $12.52 to $32.67. So I've said this before, Wizards had to be careful with these buy a box promos. Exclusive cards, only one way to get them. They don't keep flowing once you get past the promotion. And if they accidentally make one of these things too powerful and it starts seeing standard or modern play, you could see some big spikes. And guess what just happened? Yep, Nexus of Fate, which is a key part of this Turbo Fog deck that I mentioned a few moments ago, had a huge spike this week. So it's looking good at the Pro Tour. We'll have to see how it finishes this weekend. If one of the teams makes it to the top 4 and the standard deck they're running is that Turbo Fog deck, this could spike even harder over the next few weeks. So you're going to want to keep a close eye on this one. Now, they do put a lot of copies of this card out there, of course, initially for the promotion. But again, between the psychology of it, that I don't want to miss it, and I want to make sure I have copies if I want to play the deck or what have you, and just simply the fact that more copies aren't going to be introduced to satisfy demand, you never know what could happen with a card like this. I mean, who knows? If the deck does well this weekend and in coming weekends, then you could see this maybe get up to $60 or more. It's not out of the question. Now, on the flip side, if it doesn't perform well, let's say it doesn't top 4 this weekend and it doesn't do anything significant in the next few weeks, then yes, this will stabilize and will be kind of a flash in the pan and everyone will move on. But we just don't know at this point what's going to happen with this card. It could go either way. And if it does see success, I just hope Wizards has some kind of plan to get copies out to people, especially once we get past rotation this fall. And again, the field's going to get leaner. There's a chance this card could even get better. So I hope they have a way to get copies to people if it gets to that point anyway. All right, let's move on to the top 5 modern legal cards that have lost value this week. You're going to see a combination here of cards that are popular thanks to the Commander 2018 deck lists and a lot of folks trying to pick up upgrades ahead of time, and also some of the impact from Pro Tour 25th anniversary. Number 5, though, is Tarmogoyf, down 272 to 71.16. This is the Modern Masters 2017 version. And this is all about Jund being a little bit inconsistent, although Jund put up a pretty nice result last weekend, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens during the Pro Tour. If a Jund deck makes the top 4 or something, everything could change tomorrow. However, right now as it stands, a lot of the key cards in that particular deck are a little bit soft. This one, I do think, unless something happens like I mentioned, will continue to go down and be below $70 maybe within a couple weeks. I don't think it goes all that much lower, though, just simply because this is still a great card, not only for Jund, but for a lot of other decks in Modern as well as Legacy. Number 4, Enchanted Evening, down $3.15 to $15. This card got hot recently as a lot of players were picking it up as an upgrade for the Adaptive Enchantment Commander 2018 deck, which comes out this Friday. And since then, though, it has recoiled a little bit. Not too surprising, because a lot of times when a card kind of spikes out of nowhere, what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to see that and say, hey, wait a minute, I have a bunch of those in my collection that I never play. They go through boxes and binders, dig them out, and they try to sell them. So then you get extra copies added to the marketplace. In the long run, though, especially after the deck actually does come out and more casual players start thinking about upgrades, This will probably surge a little more. It is a Shadowmoor card, so it does have a relatively lower print run than other modern era Magic sets, so you do want to keep that in mind. Number 3, Crucible of Worlds, down $3.51 to $40.70. This is the original 5th Dawn version. This is actually a pretty good upgrade to the Exquisite Invention deck for Commander 2018, but considering this was just reprinted in Magic 2019, as you can imagine, it's a little bit soft. Number 2 is the Chain Veil, down $3.55 to $20.12. And this is another card that got really hot recently thanks to these Commander 2018 decks and also the Planeswalkers that we saw in Magic 2019. In particular, though, Estra the Mask does go infinite with this, so this card really did heat up, but we are seeing a pretty significant recoil now this week. Speaking of the Chain Veil, here's Liliana of the Veil, down $4.36 to $100. This is the Innistrad version. Wow, still a $100 card, even though it took a little bit of a loss this week. And yeah, like I said, the Jund deck has made some of these key cards a little softer, but don't count them out. Lily's in a lot of popular decks, and Jund actually isn't doing all that bad. It's just a little inconsistent. All right, let's move on to the top 5 modern legal cards that have gained value this week. Coming in at number 5, Greater Oromancy, up $6.07 to $42.97. It's another Shadowmoor card as well, which is why it tends to be a little more spiky, as a lot of people are picking up copies for that adaptive enchantment build for Commander 2018. Number 4, Grim Lavamancer. Wow, check this out. Torment, up $2.77 to $20.87. Arch Enemy, Nicobolas, up $3.47 to $15. Magic 2012 up $3.95 to $15, and Premium Deck Series Fire and Lightning up $7.41 to $17.80. So basically, all the copies of Grim Lavamancer are going up. Why is that? Well, this card has actually been hot and probably undervalued for a while. It's been steadily increasing. It was on our list a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact, but it really takes off this week. We've seen this perform well in the Humans deck, in the Burn deck, and that's been propping it up for a while. But recently, the Wizards deck actually put up a nice result, and of course, it's in that deck too. So you combine it all together, and yeah, this card is going up quite a bit this week. Number 3, back to that enchantment deck for Commander 2018. Starfield of Nyx up $8.03 to $12.35 this week. Just another upgrade card here. Number 2, it's Bridge from Below. Both copies. Future Sight up $24.69 to $34. Modern Masters up $31.60 to $39.94. What is happening? Well, if you don't know, you didn't watch the Pro Tour yesterday. I'll tell you, this Vegevine deck looks really awesome. It kind of feels like a Dredge deck, but faster. As a matter of fact, I don't think Rest in Peace could even stop this deck. It goes so fast. It looked incredible on camera. If you missed it, check out the coverage from yesterday, or I'm sure it will be on today as well. And it will probably be in the top 4 too. The deck looked incredible. It kind of came out of nowhere, and a lot of people are scrambling to try to build it now because they want to play this at their modern tournaments. So, Bridge has a huge week, but you know what else had a huge week? Number 1, Vegevine, up $72.72 to $94.52. Okay, this is insanity. Now, granted, you could argue this has been undervalued for a while. Vegevine decks are not ever bad decks. They're sometimes on the fringe a little bit, coming in and out, once in a while grabbing a result, and then they disappear for a while. But this new build is the real deal. It looks incredible. Now, granted, maybe it won't look as amazing in the coming weeks as people start to prepare for it and it won't be a surprise anymore. But still, this is a card that's not going to go back to where it was prior to this spike. It should recoil. I mean, this kind of spike can't sustain. Like, this is going to be one of those spikes where people are going to look at it and say, wow, hang on a second, 94.52? I have 5 Vegevines in a binder somewhere. I'm going to go sell them. So expect once we get past all the hype from the weekend that you'll see a snapback here. And that's normal. But again, the card is not going back down to where it was. This is going to be a major player, at least for the next few weeks. Pay attention to it. Vintage Spotlight. I should change the name of this segment to the Buyout Spotlight because that's basically what we talk about. A lot of unlimited buyouts are continuing. Let's see what's happening. Gaia's Liege from Unlimited up $7.99 to $8.70. Huge percentage increase here, so I threw it on the list. And none of the cards we're going to talk about today are on the reserve list, and all of them have been reprinted. You can find cheaper copies. But again, it's about people buying up the copies that are listed at reasonable prices online. Here's another one, Pirate Ship from Unlimited, up $10.10 to $18.97. Living Artifact from Unlimited, up $10.94 to $20. Elven Riders. Now this one's from Legends, but kind of the same story, of $14.62 to $34.85. Kurt Ape, Arabian Nights. Of course, Arabian Nights cards have been very hot, but same situation here, up $15.62 to $29.99. Nightmare from Unlimited up $20.93 to $32.99. Clockwork Beast up $44.29 to $75. Okay, let's move on to our Commander Spotlight. Commander's been so hot between Battle Bond and now with the impending release of the Commander 2018 decks. So many people scrambling for upgrades. I have a lot of cards to talk about, so I'm going to go quick. We're going to speed around these. Rings of Brighthearth up $1.07 to $34.77, and this is from Lorwyn, so it does have a lower print run comparatively. This did get a reprinting as a masterpiece, but really could use a true reprinting. This card is great in pretty much any Commander deck, it seems. However, it's going to be especially good as an upgrade for that exquisite Invention deck coming out Friday. Dolmen Gate up $1.11 to $9.94. Another Lorwyn card. This is good in a number of decks as well, but specifically those Najeela decks have been taking advantage of this. Idyllic Tutor up $1.17 to $24. Again, this is going to work out in that Bant Adaptive Enchantment deck that comes out Friday. And this is a Morningtide card, so again, from a set that had a little bit of a lower print run. Blightsteel Colossus up $1.38 to $36.67. Great upgrade for that exquisite Invention deck. And this does see some vintage play as well, but this week it's all about Commander. Thrumming Stone up $1.42 to $26.49. This is back on our list. This does have its moments where it does surge. Thanks to cards like Rat Colony, Shadowborn Apostle, this does stay very relevant in the world of Commander. Oathsworn Giant up $1.43 to $3.36. This, of course, is part of those Arcades Defender decks. The Gitrog Monster up $1.85 to $9.56. Nature's Vengeance, the Jund Land Matters deck. Can't believe they didn't include this in there. I said that in my video yesterday, I think. But yeah, this is kind of a no-brainer upgrade. This card's gotten very, very hot since that deck list came out and we found out that this was not included. Vedalken Archmage up $3.85 to $8.95. Another incredibly strong card. I'm surprised this was as cheap as it was for a while. As a matter of fact, I did a video a few days ago and this card was only a little over $5. Obviously, it has spiked since then. And this will be great in that artifact deck again, the Exquisite Invention deck. Words of Wind, this is an upgrade for Adaptive Enchantment, up $6.75 to $9.92. If you look at the secondary market, it really feels like Adaptive Enchantment is the most popular of those Commander decks and will probably sell out the quickest, I would guess. Serra Sanctum up $9.42 to $189.99. This is on the reserve list. And yeah, some people might want to pick this up for the Bant Enchantment deck. I don't really think it's necessary, especially at that price. You don't need to pick this thing up. And I think if a few people picked it up because they thought it might be a good idea, either for that deck or for other reasons, then that alone could create a $10 spike just because there's not all that many copies available for sale at any given time. Aura Thief up $9.68 this week to $14.45. Another card for the Bant Enchantment build. And this combos with Enchanted Evening. So Enchanted Evening got really hot last week, and now it's starting to come down a little bit. This one follows this week. Okay, let's wrap things up with a quick Pauper Spotlight. 2 cards. First one is Ristic Study up $1.51 to $14.14. And this card is maybe moving because of Commander, because it's an awesome Commander card. But it's also in a popular Pauper deck, which is a Dimir deck that's been doing quite well. And finally, the Black Lotus of Pauper, Oubliette, up $2.95 to $39.99. I kind of wonder, I was watching the Silver Showcase the last couple nights, and some of the cards that were open in that draft and performed well on camera actually started going up in value a little bit. This is one of them. It looked great yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I feel like maybe out of sight, out of mind, when people see these things on coverage, they start thinking, oh, I remember that card. Maybe I should pick up a copy. Or maybe people just look at this and say, you know what, this is great for my Pauper Mono Black Control deck, and they get it because of that. So for whatever reason, this is going up quite a bit this week. All right, with that being said, that is the Market Watch for this week. We're going to continue to watch the Pro Tour closely and continue to report out to you what happens there. We also have 2 more videos coming out this week, which will be upgrade videos for Commander 2018 decks. We still have to talk about Adaptive Enchantment, which, spoiler alert, a lot of the cards we talked about today will be in that video. And then we'll wrap things up later in the week with Subjective Reality. So a lot going on the channel. Until next time, though, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.